So this is part 28 of why the fuck did I stay? So, mind you, we gets back to the house. He's in shock. I'm like, so tell me what happened. He was like, well, we was driving, home from the club. You know what I'm saying? We put up at her house. All I know is that I leaned over to kiss her. And then all of a sudden, some niggas just opened my door and put a gun in my head. So he was like, he took off, started running. They chasing him, don't pistol whipped him, took all his chains or whatever the case be. I'm like, well, where was she at? Like, did she not help you? He was like, no. I'm like, did she call the police? Like, did the bitch even fucking scream? Like, what the fuck? He was like, no, she didn't do none of that. I'm like, what the fuck? So the bitch just disappeared. Because when I came to get you, the bitch was nowhere to be found. So I'm like, okay, this is motherfucking interesting. I'm like, see, I told you not to fucking trust this motherfucking bitch. I said the bitch was motherfucking scandalous from the motherfucking get-go. She's a motherfucking stripper. I said the bitch was looking for a motherfucking come-up. I said that was the only motherfucking reason why she was fucking willing to have the motherfucking threesome in the first place, because she thought that she was going to fuck these niggas who she thought had the motherfucking bag, and she was going to motherfucking come up. Bitch, I really feel like the bitch wanted me, but I wasn't even paying her no mind. So she tried to go to the next best thing, which was him, and he really didn't have it. But in her mind, she thought that he did, and he's probably feeding her all this motherfucking bullshit. So he was just like, yeah. So I'm like, so what you gonna do? He was like, well, I don't want to go back over because I fear for my life, and I don't, I'm scared to go back over. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, well, you can stay over here, you know what I'm saying? I'll make sure that you good. Like, you ain't got to worry about all that shit. I was like, but you do need to figure out, like, what the fuck you're going to tell her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, well, he's like, I'll make up something. I can just tell her that, I don't feel comfortable over there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I got robbed. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'll just tell her that I'm moving back in, like, with my peoples until he feels like that it's safe. So I'm like, okay, that works. Whatever the case be. So moving on. She's blowing up his motherfucking phone. Like, where is he at? You know what I'm saying? He's being real dry with her at this point. So he's just like, he's just trying to focus on him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get his mental back right. So she was just like, I don't know. She was like, I just feel like that you probably over there with that faggot ass, gay ass nigga. He's probably fucking helping you. And I'm like, oh, this bitch, she's doing it the fuck up. That dick in the booty, she just kept on. So I'm like, I'm going to fuck this bitch up. Like, I promise you, I'm going to fuck this bitch up. So, mind you, he was just like, I'm like, so, like what's going on? Like, you going to go see her? He was like, nah. He was like, because me and her ain't even, like, been right because she feels like that. I'm too feminine. He was like that. She really hates that I like dick. And, that's why she ain't been trying to give me no pussy, because she feels like that I'm too feminine or too gay or whatever the fuck he was saying. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So mind you, around this time, her birthday is coming up. So she's calling him. She was like, I want you to be at my birthday party. You know what I'm saying? This is big for me. Like, my parents and my family's going to be there. I want you there because I've already told them, like, that you're going to be there. Like, I want everybody to be there, including my man. So I'm like, so are you going to go? He was like, yeah, but he was like, I really don't want to be with her no more. And I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to go. He was like, and I'm going to break things off with her. I was like, okay, well, go do whatever you feel like that you need to do. So surely enough, he goes to the party and breaks things off with her. So he comes back home and he's telling me everything that's going on. So she's blowing up his phone. She's like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? Like, you fucking faggot ass nigga. Like, you fucking gay. You didn't even give me no fucking dick on my fucking birthday. You over there fucking that dick in a booty ass nigga. Y'all both motherfucking gay. That's why the fuck y'all gonna die of motherfucking AIDS. I already know. So at this motherfucking point, I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, I'm sick of this motherfucking bitch. That was your last motherfucking time, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you up. So he was like, baby, calm down. Like, she's fucking crazy. Like, she be carrying guns and she will shoot you. I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I promise you that shit don't scare me. Like, bitch, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, bitch, do your big one, bitch. Please do your big one, bitch. I'm gonna show you. Matter of fact, bitch, I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass. So She takes it upon her motherfucking self. I don't know how she found out that he was staying back with me, but she done came to my motherfucking house and took the motherfucking picture of my house outside and was like, yeah, count your days. I'm coming to get y'all. Bitch! That's all I motherfucking needed. I said, let's go. Let's go. Get in. We're going over there now. Let's go. So I pulls up on the bitch. You know I don't motherfucking play. Bitch, what's up? So she's laughing. I'm like, bitch, what's funny? What's funny? I said, it's so motherfucking funny. I said, no, what's funny, bitch? You thought that you had him and you didn't. I said, and he's back with me. I said, so it's so motherfucking funny why you're like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Y'all both motherfucking gay. Some faggot ass niggas. Y'all dick in a boot. So all of this is okay, bitch. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Bitch, I'm so motherfucking gay. I'm such a motherfucking fag, but I fucked you. We both fucked you. Like, I'm confused. Like, you're so fucking dumbass, bitch. Like, what the fuck? So she was like, yeah, bitch, that's why I'm gonna kill both of y'all. Bitch, please do it. Like, bitch, I'm waiting. Like, please do it up. Like, girl, I'm at this motherfucking point. So I'm like, here, this bitch ain't talking about that. Bitch, he's mans. The boy is mans, girl. But goodbye. He's mans. So get in the car. Get in the car. So we pulls off. This bitch calls herself trying to chase me. Bitch, you're in this old ass, raggedy ass. Bitch, quit. I'm just like, all I had to do was just barely put my foot on the pedal to motherfucking speed up. This bitch is really trying to. So mind you, I'm looking in the rearview mirror. The police pulled the bitch over. I'm like, that's what the fuck you get, you dumbass bitch. So she's calling him, was just like, oh my God, this is all your fucking fault. Now I'm about to go to fucking jail because you want to be with that fucking fag. Like, I'm so fucking confused. You ruined my fucking life. I'm like, I gets on the phone. I'm like, girl, goodbye. Bye. The boy's mine. Bye. So I'm telling him, block the bitch. Like, she's done. Block her. Like, she's done. Next part. So this is part 29 of why the fuck did I stay? So at this point, him and her are officially done. He done blocked her. So now me and him are back together. So we're having a conversation and I'm just like, listen, like, what's going to change? I was like, if we're going to do this shit again, like, something has to change. Like, we cannot keep doing this back and forth shit. So he was like, everything's going to change. He was like, being with her was like an eye opener for me. He was like, it was an experience, because I didn't know if I wanted to be with a man or a woman. So he was like, I actually got a chance to experience being with a woman that I actually wanted to be with. And he was like, it really ain't what I wanted. He was like, so I would rather be with you, and you, what I really wanted is what I came to the conclusion. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, what else is going to change? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, the motion, like, we can't just have you out here not doing anything. So he was like, I want to start cutting hair. Like, I want to be a barber. And he was like, I want to start working up under you. He was like, what if I just came to the store and just cut her in the store with you? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess, I'm saying, you cutting hair while I'm selling clothes, I guess it would attract customers. Yeah. So we get to the store. It was like the fucking walk of shame. Everybody in the store was coming in, was like, oh, like, y'all back together? I'm like, yeah. So, time goes on, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, we don't start posting start posting pictures, making TikToks. So we're putting it in posting. So we done made the news again. People's like, what the fuck? Like, they're back together. Like, I thought this, I thought that. So everybody have at this point have come to the conclusion that this was a publicity stunt. This was not a publicity stunt, mind you, but I kind of like went along with it because I didn't want to like feel stupid for like going back to him. So I was like, I guess it would make more sense to say like, hey, we did this for shits and giggles than no, it really happened and my dumb ass took him motherfucking back. So that was the story and we went with it. So, time goes on, now it's my motherfucking turn. So now I'm posting TikToks, I'm taunting this bitch. Oh, he's mine, like, oh, ha, 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 ha. We're making TikToks like, oh, bitch, this is the life that you wanted and you couldn't have it. So now he's back with me like, oh, we're so in love. So, speed it up. So, we're enjoying the holidays, Christmas, blah, 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 blah. So we get to January. So January, it's Pride. So I was like, let's go to Atlanta for Pride. So we gets cute. We goes down to Atlanta for Pride. You know, we enjoying ourselves, and then we got to deal with the gays. So the gays are like, oh my gosh, like y'all back together. Like we seen what happened on the net. I'm just like, yeah, you know, we back together. We still rocking, whatever the case may be. So while we're there, I done ran into one of my little, So he's like, you know, I really, you know, want you and your nigga to fuck me. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, goddamn, I can't pass up because I can't never get a hold of this nigga. This nigga's fine. So I'm just like, okay. I was like, okay, let me ask him anyways to even see if he's down. So I comes to him. I'm like, you know, I got this dude. You know what I'm saying? He said he wants you and him, you and me to fuck him. So he was like, yeah, like I'm down. You know, we ain't never did a threesome with a dude before. So I'm like, yeah. So, you know, let's do it. So we getting ready to go to the boys' hotel. So we didn't get to the boys' hotel. So imagine we ready to walk in. He's like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what? Like, what? Come on. He's like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I'm like, come on. Like, we done got all the way here. Now you're telling me that you're not comfortable. Like, why? He's like, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to fuck no other nigga. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, well, what we gonna do? He's like, I don't mind watching you though. He was like, I want you to enjoy yourself. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been enjoying myself. He's like, you enjoy yourself and I'll just sit back and I'll watch. So I'm like, all right, like you ain't got to motherfucking tell me twice. Like, sure, come on. So we gets in there, you know, me and the little boy, we doing what we doing. So he's sitting in the corner, he's watching. So, yeah, wonderful. So now we leave, so I can just see. So he's got this, you know, he's got this puppy dog face. So I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm like, yeah, this nigga don't feel bad. So I'm like, listen, like, boy, like it's me and you are completely different. Like I can fuck, like my feelings is not involved over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all about you. So I'm coming here making him feel good or whatever the case be. So I'm still like in this point, I kind of like feel bad. So I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck can I do to make it up to this nigga? I'm like, what? I was like, what do you want, some pussy? Or if I get you some pussy, will you feel better? So he was just like, I ain't really pressed for no pussy, but he was like, yeah, you know, I guess it would make it fair. So I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, well, listen, I done had my fun. I said, once you go find you a little bitch to fuck, you know what I'm saying? Just no strings attached. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I can come and I can watch you fuck her. And I said, we'll be even. So he was like, okay. So we gets home. He's trying to find some little girl to fuck. So he ends up finding the little girl. So he was brought it to my attention, showed me. He was like, here's what I want to do. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, come on, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, but this one thing. I'm like, what? He was like, well, she don't feel comfortable with you coming to watch us fuck. I'm like, well, that was the agreement that we set up. Like, if you was going to do this, like, I wanted to watch. And he was like, yeah, but bitches is different. Like, you know, I'm not going to be able to fuck no bitch and she's going to just feel comfortable with you watching. Like, he was like, that's weird. So I'm just like, okay, well, whatever the case be. I said, well, you're going to get over there. You're going to get on the phone, put me on speaker. Like, I want to hear the shit that's going on. Like, I'm going to be there in some type of way. So he was like, I can do that. So he gets over to the girl's house. He got the phone on speaker. So I'm just listening, you know, they're talking, setting the vibe, you know, so he's having to convince this girl to fuck. She's telling him that she's a virgin, she's never did it before, and she doesn't want him to just fuck her and leave her because it's her first time. So I'm just listening. This nigga's game is immaculate. Like, just the things that he can say to man fuck these bitches is insane. So I'm just listening. I'm like, damn, like, this nigga's powerful. So speed it up. He done got the bitch in the bedroom to fuck, and he's fucking this little girl. I'm hearing everything, the moans, everything. So I'm like, okay, like I'm hearing this, and it's in my mind. I'm just like, I'm getting pissed. I'm like, why am I getting mad? Like, I allowed this. Like, why am I getting mad? So he comes home. I'm just like, I'm like, so how was it? Did you enjoy yourself? He was like, yeah, like, damn, my pussy was good. I'm like, So you know me, I done got a little jealous. I couldn't help it. I did. I was like, well, go be with the bitch then. Like, since it was just so motherfucking good, like, go be with the bitch then. He was like, come on. Like, he was like, why would you do it? Like, if you was gonna do all that, I wouldn't even fucking have did it. Like, you fucking up like, I can't even enjoy it, like, enjoying it. I'm like, no. I was like, you said it was so good, so go be with the bitch. Like, at this point, so he done went in the room. He's mad that I'm mad, but I'm like, play mad. I'm not even really mad. I'm like, boy, it's not even that motherfucking serious. I'm like, just cut it. You had your fun. Like, bitch, Now, bitch, it's time to get back to us. Like, bitch, no more. Like, no motherfucking more. So at this point, one of the guys from Atlanta, this is another dude, he was telling that he wanted to fly us out, you know, to have a good time. So me and him, I'm like, do you want to go out of town? He was like, yeah. So we done got our flights to go out of town to go meet this guy. Go to the next part so I can tell you about that. So this is part 30 of why the fuck did I stay? So mind you, I had just got notice from the mall that I had 30 days to vacate my store and I had to be out by February the 1st. So back to the subject in hand. We done gets out of town, you know what I'm saying? We don't meet the man, you know what I'm saying? He's doing it the fuck up. He's splurging on us, taking us to the motherfucking 5-star restaurants. Like, he's taking us to the motherfucking clubs. You know, he took us to the mall, buying us Balenciagas, just like really doing it the fuck up. Treating us like we're just motherfucking luxury at this point. So, you know, we get to the house, you know, the man, of course, he was like, you know, he wants to have his way with either of us. So I get to the room, I'm telling him, I'm like, you know, we're gonna have to, one of us gonna have to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? He wants to have his way with one of us, so we're gonna have to decide who's it gonna be. And he was just like, you know what I'm saying, I don't really want to do it. He was like, why don't you do it? You know what I'm saying? You more experienced with doing shit like this, ain't you? I'm like, yeah, you're right. I was like, I don't mind taking one for the team. You know what I'm saying? I'll do this, you know what I'm saying? This could help us. You know what I'm saying? He can take care of the both of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? So be it. So I does what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? We goes and whatever. So now it's time for us to get back home. So we gets back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking the stuff from the store, putting it into the storage. You know what I'm saying? He's helping me. And one day we're driving, mind you, his motherfucking brakes on his car need to be fixed. So at this point, you would think that he would be trying to drive careful. So this nigga's trying to motherfucking race me. I'm like, why are you doing it the fuck? Like, why are you doing all of this? Like, so he done try to get in front of me, drive all motherfucking crazy. So surely enough, the motherfucker loses control and wrecks the motherfucking car. So I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like, it's not my car, they're sure. So he's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, bitch, call your insurance company. Like, get the insurance company. Like, I told you, stop driving all motherfucking crazy. Like, you wanted to be cute, that's what the fuck you get. So he calls the insurance company. They done gave him a rental car. Cool. So in the midst of him getting the rental car, he had just got news that his girlfriend that he used to date, this is long before he was with me, she had got killed. So, you know what I'm saying? He's emotional. He was like, damn, like, me and her was like really, really close. So I was like, okay, cool. He's telling me, he was like, you know, I got to get this nice suit for her funeral. Like, I got to show out for her. So I'm like, okay, cool. So you know me, I done went and bought him this nice suit, paid for him to get her face spray paint on the back, just out the whole nine. So we go to the funeral, pay the respects, it's done. So I'm like, okay, so now I still got to get back to business. I'm still trying to find me a store. I ended up finding me a store. I done got it up and running. You know what I'm saying? We're at this point now. So now he's bringing to my attention. He was like, there's this lady, she's got this shop and, you know, she wants me to come in there and cut her since I've been cutting her. So I was like, okay, like, I guess that would be good. I'm like, we could both be being productive. I can be here working, doing what I got to do. And you could be over, you know, cutting, making money, you know, saving up for you can get you another car. So he was like, okay. So days had passed and some time had passed and I'm just noticing, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? We kind of getting kind of distance. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen you. Like, you ain't never seen me. Like, we're not having as much sex. So I'm telling him, I'm like, we need to spend some more time together. So he was like, well, what do you want me to do? He was like, you know what I'm saying? You told me that you wanted me to work and do all this and that. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but what about you coming back to the store and just cutting her? I was like, you was doing it at the mall. Like, why can't you do it here? He's like, well, I don't have no setup. You know what I'm saying? I got the setup over there. I'm like, okay, but look, if you ain't got no setup, bitch, I can get you a setup. I said, what if I made the back of the motherfucking store a barbershop for you? So he was like, yeah, if you did that, then I would come. I was like, okay, cool. So I done took all this time, all this money. I done bought all this stuff to make a barbershop. I done remodel, did it up. So he's like, oh my gosh, like, this is so dope. He's promoting it all on social media. Everybody's like, congratulations. So he's telling the people, if y'all want a haircut, come to the Stay Hair store. So everybody's coming to the motherfucking Stay Hair store to get a haircut. He's never here. So he's nowhere to be found. So I'm like, you cannot be promoting, telling people to come and get their haircut and you're never here.
So I was like, that makes me look bad. I'm like, that's unprofessional. Like we cannot do that. So at this time, it's time for him to bring the rental car back. And so I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, now it's time for you to set your ass down. I was like, now you're not going to have no choice but to be here at the motherfucking store. So he was like, man, I can't do this. I need me a car. I'm like, well, we will get you a car. Like, you need to be trying to put in the motherfucking work to get you one. So I'm like, I'll get you a motherfucking car. So I get on Facebook Marketplace. I'm looking for any type of car at this point. So I ended up finding one. It was a 2013 Ford Taurus. I'm like, well, here's a car for you. And he was like, well, I mean, I really don't want to drive this. I'm like, well, bitch, what the fuck you gonna drive? Like, I don't think you have a motherfucking choice. Like, you don't have a choice. Bitch, you want to walk? Like, I'm confused. So he was like, well, I'll drive it. So I'm like, okay. Same day we get the car, we're driving home, right? I am driving behind him. I haven't even got insurance on this motherfucking car yet. This nigga runs right into the back of somebody else. I'm talking about literally just not paying attention. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck did you run into the back of these motherfucking people? Oh, she braked it. No, bitch. You're like, I'm blooping the fuck out. I done lost it. I'm like, bitch, I just spent motherfucking 35 fucking hundred on this goddamn car, and you're not paying the motherfucking attention, being fucking careless, and I wrecked this motherfucking car. Like, what the fuck? So he's like, don't keep talking to me like that, bitch. Fuck that, bitch. We're talking about my money. Like, I'm not even worth. Like, bitch, you don't piss me the fuck off. Like, you don't piss me the fuck off. Like, get the fuck away from me. Like, I cannot motherfucking do this. Like, how the fuck? Like, the car is totaled, mind you. Like, I'm livid. Like, bitch. Ooh, like, bitch, how the... So he was like, you gonna keep talking to me like this? I go to my friend's house, like, I can't do this. I'm like, bye. Like, bye. You can get out of my face. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, I just lost fucking 3,500. Like, go do what the fuck you want to do. So he went. I don't give a fuck. So... To be continued. Since y'all don't like when I say go to the next part, I'm going to say to be continued. So this is part 31 of why the fuck did I stay? So he done wrecked the motherfucking car. I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I done cussed him the fuck out. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me apologize, because I really did cuss him the fuck out. Like, it was bad. So I'm just like, you know, I done got with him. I'm just like, you know what? I apologize for the way I talked to you. I was like, but you have to understand, like, you really just motherfucking... Just stew away my motherfucking money. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand, like, there's no chill in this at all. He was like, you know, I understand. He was like, but I told you I was sorry and that I apologize. I'm like, okay, it's okay, cool. Like, it's cool, whatever. Like, we'll get over it. I'll make the motherfucking money back. It's cool. So a couple days later, he's come to me. He was like, look, it's haircut and shit ain't working out. He's like, I ain't making no money. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? He was like, you know, I'm want to start selling some weed. I'm like, well, how you going to do that? He was like, well, shit. He was like, I already got, you know, the shit set up. He was like, I got motherfuckers that want to buy. He was like, I just need you to front me the money so I can go get the shit so I can sell it. I'm like, bitch, if I give you this motherfucking money and you fuck it up, like, it's going to be me and you. So he was like, nah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I'm going to give you your money back. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I done gave him the money to go get the weed or whatever the case be. So next day, he's got the weed. He's in the motherfucking store selling it. I'm like, I can already tell you, this is going to be a problem. Like, you're not ready to make my motherfucking store hot. Like, bitch, he's already in here calling motherfuckers, yeah, pull up on me. I got that shit. Like, bitch, like, you motherfucking Big Meech. Like, no, we're not doing that. So I'm like, we're going to have to figure something out. So he was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't have no car no more. So I'm like, okay, don't you worry about it, because I'm ready to go get you a car, because you're not ready to make my shit hot. So I done found this guy who was selling, what he had, 2013 Chrysler 300. So I was like, here, we can go get this. I said, this is nice. I was like, so, you know what I'm saying, you can trap in this, you know what I'm saying, and get your money, you know, while I'm at the store. Like, that's cool. So the barbershop that I didn't have for him, so it's just vacant. So I was like, somebody's got to motherfucking use it. So this is when I decided that I'm going to start utilizing it to do fucking locks. So I am a loctician, guys, you know, mind you. So if you want to get your locks done, go ahead and book with me. You know, so anyways, speed it up. So now the guy from last time, the man, he done hit us up that he wants us to come out of town to see him again. So we done went out of town to see him.
So we gets there, you know, we meeting everybody. He had like a little get together, and you know, it's some trannies there. So I'm like, oh, like these trannies look good. Like, bitch, they look like real motherfucking women. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the house, he's outside with them. You know, I'm seeing like they're flirting with him. They're gone off him. Like, do you hear me? I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, I comes outside. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they like, oh yeah, we see, like, we don't want him, but he's cute though. He's cute. So they're just doing it the fuck up. Like, I'm like, bitch, like, keep it cute, keep it cute. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling him, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck you got going on? So he's like, what? I was like, you just gonna let them like just keep flirting with you? Then you're just not gonna say nothing? He was like, what? Like, what? I can't help it. I'm like, yeah, you can't. I said, but you can say something and tell them to like at least stop. I'm like, because it's kind of like disrespectful to me. Like, I'm trying to explain this to him. So he's like, oh, like, okay, like, I mean, I guess whatever the case be. So he goes right back out there. So I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go out here with you then. So these bitches don't motherfucking try it. So they're just, at this point, I feel like they started fucking picking with me. They was like, oh, he's so fine. You know what I'm saying? I wish y'all went together because he would be mine. So I'm just like, okay, strike number one. So she was like, well, how long y'all been together? Because it don't look like it's going to last. You know what I'm saying? Because he look like he want me. I'm like, oh, okay, like, bitch, strike number two. So she's just like, oh, yeah, like, ooh, plus I can see it's big, like, that'll feel good. And I'm just, at this point, the bitch is motherfucking picking with me. And I'm just like, you know, I'm getting pissed, but I'm trying to like smile because I'm just like, you know, I'm not trying to act a fool at this man's house. So I'm like, I'm ready to get up and leave. I'm looking at him. He's motherfucking smiling, by the way. So I'm really even more pissed. So I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. So I'm just like, I'm ready to go. I'm telling him. So I'm telling him like basically like, come on, let's go, without saying let's go. He was like, yeah, y'all. So I'm like, are you gonna come? Like, bitch, what? So he was like, oh no, I think I'm gonna sit here and stay. You know. I'm like, bitch, I think you trying me. I think you're trying to fuck with me, but I'm like, all right. So at this point, I'm feeling like bitch. I want to fight. I want to fight. I said, but I'm going to keep my composure. So I'm just like, all right. So now I got to watch you. So I don't went back in the motherfucking house. I'm looking out the window. I'm trying to make sure that this motherfucking nigga ain't doing shit, because if you do any motherfucking thing and I'm watching you, like, bitch, I am going to fuck you up at this man's house. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I said, bitch, I got a bone to pick with you. So I'm waiting for him to come back in the motherfucking house. So he eventually comes in the house. I'm like, you know what? I was like, you got me so fucked up. He's like, what did I do? I'm like, bitch, you know what the fuck you did. Like, you know, I don't have to fucking tell you what the fuck you did. So he's like, what the fuck? You tripping? You always fucking do this every time we go somewhere. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, so now you're getting loud. Okay. So I'm like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm done. So he done stormed out the motherfucking house, make some motherfucking scene. So everybody's looking. They're like, are y'all okay? Like, y'all good? I'm like, yeah, we're good. Like, we're fine. We're fine. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, thank bitch. I'm like, I do not want to go through this shit with you, and I'm just trying to have a fucking good time. So I said, let me go outside. Let me fucking go outside. So I don't went outside. I'm like, look, we're not ready to motherfucking do this. I was like, look, we're going to go in here and we're going to act like we fucking got some sense. I said, we're going to pull our fucking selves together. I was like, I will deal with this at another motherfucking time. Like, I just don't have time. So he was like, man, all right. So we goes back in, you know, with smiles, you know, oh, we're fine. So the guy was telling me that he wants both of us this time. So I'm having to talk to him. I'm like, so, like, do you want to participate? Like, he said he wants to pay the both of us. So he was like, yeah, he was like, I don't mind doing it. He was like, because I got your birthday coming up and I'm trying to get the money for your birthday. So I was like, okay, cool. So we do what we do. And, you know what I'm saying, we gets paid. And, you know, at this time, it's time to go home. So we get home. My birthday is in 4 days. So he's, I guess, getting stuff together for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? The birthday comes. He gets me a bike, some Versace shoes, some Burberry sunglasses. He done got me an outfit. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he threw me a surprise birthday party. So he did it the fuck up. Mind you, he did his big one this time. I got to give credit when it's due. So he did his big one. So, you know what I'm saying? We was happy, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case be. So a couple days passed, you know what I'm saying? So one day, we're at home. We're in bed. I wakes up, you know what I'm saying? I'm rubbing him or whatever the case be. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm insinuating that I want to fuck. So he's just like, you wasting your time. I ain't trying to do all of that. I'm like, do all of what? He's like, I ain't trying to fuck. He was like, my mind ain't there. Like, we done did that shit with that man. I'm traumatized. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a while before I want to have sex. I'm like, no. I was like, that's some bullshit. I was like, no, you don't want to fuck me. I said, because you want to fuck them motherfucking trainees that you was fucking with at the motherfucking port. I said, bitch, you think I'm motherfucking stupid. So he was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, don't worry about it, bitch. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So at this point, I'm just like, bitch, I gave him the silent treatment. I was like, I ain't got nothing to say to you because, bitch, you want to keep playing with me like I'm motherfucking stupid. So, you know what I'm saying? We get to the store. So I'm still in the silent treatment mode. So he was like, oh, so you still not going to talk to me? Like, hello? I'm just sitting there like, So he was like, oh, for real? So you not going to talk to me? Keep that same energy. So he left. He leaves. I'm like, okay, bye. And to be continued.